On August 6, 1945, a single bomb destroyed a city. 3 days later, on August 9th, a second bomb destroyed another. One man was standing close enough to both to have his eardrums shattered, his skin burned from his bones, and his vision taken from him. Twice. He was not a soldier. He was a naval engineer on a business trip, and he lived to the age of 93. This is the verified, documented story of Tsutomu Yamaguchi, the only person the Japanese government officially recognized as a survivor of both atomic bombings of World War II. In the summer of 1945, Tsutomu Yamaguchi was 29 years old. He worked as a marine engineering draftsman for Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. He had been assigned to a 3-month project in Hiroshima, a city of roughly 350,000 people, a significant military and industrial hub in southwestern Japan. By early August, his assignment was complete. He was scheduled to return home to Nagasaki on August 6th. He had a train to catch. He was almost done. At 8:15 in the morning on August 6, 1945, Yamaguchi was walking toward the Hiroshima shipyard. He was approximately 3 kilometers from the center of the city. Then the sky became the sun. The United States Army Air Forces had just released Little Boy, a uranium bomb, over the city's commercial district. The fireball reached temperatures estimated at several thousand degrees Celsius at its core. The shockwave moved outward at roughly the speed of sound. Yamaguchi was exposed to the initial thermal flash at a distance of approximately 3 kilometers. His upper body was burned. His face was burned. His arms were burned. The blast ruptured both his eardrums. The light was so intense he was temporarily blinded. He was thrown to the ground. When he was able to see again, Hiroshima was gone. The city he had worked in for 3 months no longer existed in any recognizable form. Buildings had been flattened for kilometers in every direction from the hypocenter. Fires burned through what remained. The dead and severely injured were everywhere. Yamaguchi eventually located 2 colleagues he had been working with. Together, they spent the night in what shelter they could find in the destroyed city. His burns were severe. His hearing was impaired. He was a long way from home. The burns covering Yamaguchi's upper body were not superficial. Thermal injuries at that proximity to a nuclear detonation caused deep tissue damage. The skin blisters, peels, and becomes a vector for infection. He had no real medical treatment. The city's hospitals and clinics had been obliterated or overwhelmed. He bandaged what he could. He found a way to board a train. He traveled through the night toward Nagasaki, toward his wife, toward his infant daughter, toward home. He arrived in Nagasaki still alive, still bearing wounds that would have killed many people on their own. In the days after August 6, Yamaguchi reported to work at the Mitsubishi offices in Nagasaki. His injuries were visible and extreme. When he told his supervisor what he had witnessed, a single bomb, a blinding flash, an entire city destroyed, his supervisor reportedly did not believe him. The idea was beyond comprehension at the time. A single weapon, an entire city. On the morning of August 9th, Yamaguchi was inside a Mitsubishi office building in Nagasaki, describing the destruction of Hiroshima to his supervisor. He was approximately 3 kilometers from the center of Nagasaki. At 11:02 a.m., the sky became the sun again. Fat Man, a plutonium bomb, detonated over Nagasaki. The blast was in some ways more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb, though local geography and targeting factors affected the area of destruction. The building Yamaguchi was inside provided some protection from the direct thermal blast. But the shock wave hit. The light hit. He was already burned from 3 days earlier. He was already partially deaf. He was already weakened. He survived the second detonation. He was, in the words researchers and journalists would later use, a nijū Hibakusha, a double bomb-affected person. At the time, he was just a man trying to survive the present hour. Yamaguchi's survival at this point was not the result of a single dramatic decision. It was the result of many small ones made under extreme physical duress. The decision to keep moving after Hiroshima, the decision to board the train despite severe burns, the decision to return to work, to hold on to routine, to keep functioning, and after Nagasaki, the decision to endure the weeks and months of radiation illness that followed. Acute radiation syndrome produces nausea, hair loss, internal bleeding, and deep fatigue. Yamaguchi experienced these effects. He lived through them. His wife Hisako was also exposed to radiation in Nagasaki. not from the blast directly, but from contaminated water in the days that followed. She survived as well. They stayed together. Japan surrendered on August 15, 1945, 6 days after Nagasaki. The war was over. Yamaguchi was alive. He returned to his life, though the life he returned to was altered in ways that would take decades to fully understand. The radiation effects on survivors, Hibakusha, were not fully documented or acknowledged for years. Survivors face social stigma in Japan, as well as the long-term health consequences of radiation exposure. Yamaguchi rebuilt. He worked. He raised a family. He carried what he had been through largely in private for many years. The physical consequences of surviving 2 nuclear detonations at close range did not disappear when the war ended. Yamaguchi lost the hearing in 1 ear permanently. His radiation-related health issues were documented across his lifetime. His son later died of cancer, though a direct causal link to radiation exposure cannot be definitively confirmed from available public records. His wife Hisako died in 2010, the same year as Yamaguchi, after years of her own health struggles connected to her radiation exposure in the days following Nagasaki. Estimates suggest that somewhere between 100 and several hundred people experienced both bombings, though the exact number is uncertain and contested. Tsutomu Yamaguchi is the only person the Japanese government formally and officially recognized as a nijū Hibakusha. That recognition came in 2009. He was 92 years old. He died the following year, in January 2010, of stomach cancer. He was 93. Yamaguchi eventually became a public voice for nuclear disarmament. He spoke at the United Nations. He gave interviews. He wrote and spoke about what he had seen, not to celebrate survival, but to describe what nuclear weapons do to human beings. He said in documented public statements that he believed no one should experience what he had experienced. His survival is not a story about luck alone, though luck was a factor. It is a story about what the human body and human will can endure when endurance is the only available option. 2 cities destroyed, 2 blasts survived. 1 man who lived long enough to stand in front of the world and describe what he had seen with his own eyes. The Japanese government's formal recognition in 2009 did not change what had happened 64 years earlier. It only confirmed what Tsutomu Yamaguchi had always known. He had been there both times, and he had survived. He